Today we're working on hunting and seeing if the great, amazing cougar spot in Tall Tree still works to fill up Crips' camp. And by golly, it sure does. Stick around, we'll give you all the tips you need to get Crips' filled up in no time. Howdy Cowpoke, Austin BMX here. Thanks for checking out today's video. As we mentioned before the intro there, we're going to be going through some hunting tips to get Crips filled up pretty quick using the amazing cougar spawn location in Tall Trees we've used quite a lot and had a few videos on it back in the past. Want to check and see if it still worked, if those cougars still showed up like clockwork, and they sure do. Now there are a few prerequisites for this, of course. We know animal spawns in the game aren't fantastic, so doing this in a public lobby isn't great. We did try it and got to work a little bit, but not as good as you can get it to work in a solo lobby. So I definitely highly recommend trying to get yourself into a solo lobby, and we do have a couple of tips and methods to get that together linked up here. Of course, the first one we have linked up is the poker table method. That is the best one because it does get you into a solo lobby pretty much 100% of the time, and no one can join your lobby because it is invite only. Completely you in there alone to get this done. Although you do need a friend to help you get that set up. So if you don't got anybody to help you get that set up, it might have a little bit of issue. But make sure you join our Discord or our PlayStation community. A lot of people over there are more than willing to help get this set up for you because they love to get into the game in a solo lobby as well. The second way is to use the recently uploaded Crips resupply method, which isn't as great as the solo lobby with the poker table. It doesn't work as well, but I did get it to work while I made this video and was able to get a few of the cougars to spawn as well. So definitely use that one if you don't have any friends with you. It might take you a little bit longer. Some people are saying on that video that it's not working. I say keep trying. If it doesn't work after a couple of resupply tries, maybe jump into a different lobby and give it a shot. I had to do that one time to get this to work while recording to make sure it does still work, and I did get myself into a solo. I'm actually, while recording this, sitting in camp in a solo with my catalog open, just sitting there for like the last 20 minutes after I got myself a couple cougars. So it does still work. So use that method also if you don't have any friends, but definitely the solo lobby with the poker table is the best way to go. So of course, after you got that all set up and you're in yourself a solo lobby so you can get some animals to spawn, no problem. Let's get over to the next spot. Yes, this is a cougar method that uses one of the cougar spawn locations in the map that's a little OP. It's the one right here in Tall Trees, the Tall Trees Canyon cougar location. This cougar sits here and lets you shoot him pretty dang easy. All you gotta do is run away and come back just a few seconds later, maybe make a minute later, 30 seconds. You know, I'm not great at time. I just go back whenever I want and it works no problem. So the few things you need to remember here. When you're using this location, you cannot leave any cougar carcasses anywhere on the ground near this location because that lets the game know that there's already been a cougar there. You need to discard that carcass. So if you go shoot a 3-star cougar here, you want to go back to the road like we are here and throw it in your wagon. That will completely eliminate it from your map. You also could just run it back to camp. I dropped my camp here in Tall Trees. A few times I got myself the cougar, brought it to camp, gave it to Crips, came back, and that gave you about enough time for the cougar to respawn. If you don't want to do that though, and you just want to load your wagon up, that works pretty dang easy as well. So make sure you have your wagon here at the road. You can definitely just go shoot the cougar here, bring it back, throw it in your wagon, and then I like to go head over into these rocks a little bit. It's a good spot, I'm not sure why, but going over these rocks, maybe open your map, eat some food, don't look at where the cougar area is. For some reason the game does not like to spawn things when you're looking at them, right? It doesn't want something to just show up. So you can't be just constantly watching this area. It only takes about a minute at the most. I've even have it faster than that. It's crazy. But as you can see, hang out over here in these rocks, go back up on the top of the rocks, look over there again, and you got yourself another cougar. Now, usually this thing will spawn a 3-star cougar almost 100% of the time. I'll say 80% of the time, it'll spawn 100% of the time as a 3-star. If it doesn't though, like I said earlier, you can go down there and kill it because you got to kill it to get it out of the way so the game knows there's no cougar there. I would say get it out of there by skinning it and then you're gonna have to get that carcass out of there. So don't skin it right here where the cougar lays, because then you're stuck with a dead carcass that you can't move, because you can't pick up a skinned carcass. Well, you can't pick up, can you pick up a skinned cougar carcass? Maybe you can, but you gotta get it out of there. So you're gonna have to run it pretty far away. You can't have this cougar spawn right here. If you don't want to, you could skin it like I do, throw your skin in your wagon, maybe run back to where your camp was so you're far enough away that that dead carcass there will despawn off your map. At that point, you can go back and restart the process. But it's that easy, Cowpoke. I was able to use these methods to get myself 5 perfect cougars in my wagon, as you can see here. Pretty dang quick, not too bad. Having 5 cougars, 5 perfect cougars in your wagon fills up crypts in no time. So if your crypts is completely empty, completely full, not a problem at all. You can easily drop your camp like I do in tall trees here, fill up crypts. While crypts is running, do a couple resupplies possibly, or if you're in a resupply solo, you might not want to, so be careful with that. But you definitely could fill up crypts, go back and fill your wagon up, and then go back and run some resupplies and let crypts do his thing and go hang out and do whatever you want. And then when crypts gets fully depleted, you already got a wagon full of 5 cougars again. Pretty dang easy, OP spot to get yourself some cougars. I absolutely love this spot. I hope you guys are using it to its full benefit to get crypts completely full and make those deliveries and trader missions super fast, super easy, without any hitches. Get yourself some money, get yourself some XP of course, and have some fun in the game, out hunting some cougars. So to recap what you need here, you definitely need a lobby that spawns animals. Now you may get lucky in a public lobby that has animals spawn in, and you can run over here and most likely do this. If this cougar does not spawn, you can drop some bait and head off a little bit back down to the road area, and you may get the cougar to spawn. I did this a couple times, did get a cougar to spawn once, but I also got a grizzly bear to spawn, and one time I got a grizzly bear and a cougar to spawn, and then the grizzly bear was scared and would not let me kill it. Actually, it was my best friend. But if you can get yourself some animal spawns in a public lobby, this will work for you. The cougar spawn still is OP. I highly recommend though trying to get yourself a solo lobby, either using our poker table method or the trader resupply method, which isn't as reliable but does still work. After that, you want to head over here, want to just shoot the cougar that's there because it should be there for you, and then head off away from the area. You don't have to go too far. Like I said, you can run back to your camp and drop that cougar off and come back, and that'll give you a perfect amount of time if your camp's set up in tall trees like mine usually is. Or you can just run back, drop in your wagon over here by the road, head up into the rock cliffs like I do, hang out for a little bit, maybe open your map a little bit. The game really likes it when you open your map because that resets the game kind of and lets the game know that you're not looking at anything in the game, so it will spawn stuff for you. And then there you go, you got another cougar there. If the cougar is not a 3-star, still grab it and get it the heck out of there. Shoot that buddy and maybe go take him to camp. You can still donate him, of course. I wouldn't recommend throw him in your wagon because you're stuck with a 3-star or a 1-star or a 2-star cougar in your wagon. You don't want that. You want to definitely fill that thing with 3 stars. But get it out of the area. You're going to have to shoot him, throw him on your horse maybe, run him back over to camp area, over by Aurora Basin Lake area, and then maybe skin it over there and then get the carcass in your wagon. And then when you come back, you should be good to have another cougar spawn. Some things I recommend avoiding while doing this method is if you do the poker table method and you got a buddy in the lobby with you, don't have them over there with you. This method usually works way better when you're by yourself in that area. So have your buddy out doing something else. There are a couple other cougar spots areas in the game as well that they could actually possibly get this to work, but this one is definitely by far the best. Also, if there's any random events that are happening around you, I know there is a bootlegger or a moonshine mission that kind of spawns in this area. If it's shown on your map, you may have to go clear that out and take care of it. Also, there's a random event that happens pretty close to this. A camp, defend a campsite, and also a lady who has a buddy who's missing that you have to go find. It's a wagon that's down by the Y in the road. If that is shown on your map, you may have to go take care of that. If you hear any gunshots in the background from any random events, you might have to go take care of that because sometimes that creates a diversion of the game and it won't spawn that cougar for you. So make sure you're watching for those. So if you follow these easy steps, you should be able to get yourself a full wagon full of 5-star cougars to get set up over at Crips and make him pretty dang happy. Well, he's never really actually happy, but he'll be happy for a minute. Easy steps to get yourself some cougars. Use this method like crazy, guys, to get your trader runs going. That way you don't got to worry about finding animals and hunting them down. You can go do this method for a little bit and go out and play the game and do everything else you want. Do some collecting or some moonshiner stuff while Crips is actually being productive and making some materials for you to go deliver. Hey Cowpoke, hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. If it helped you out, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more Red Dead Online content, including tips and tricks, news updates, gameplay, just good old-fashioned fun. Hope to see you on the prairie sometime, but until then, see you later.